Hey everyone, this is Stella. And Stella, I just got a note from your coach, Nicole. She's so proud of you. I'm so thrilled that you've seen results. Would you mind just giving us an idea of when you first found us, what you were dealing with, the symptoms that you were going through, the things that you have tried, and what led you to become a patient with us and go through this health changing journey?
Okay. Um, so my journey started in January. I've been diabetic for 20 years, and come January, my body, the aches, the inflammation, uh, my couldn't even carry the groceries in for the joints in my elbows. I was an avid walker, did exercises, my exercise class weekly and stuff, and I'd gotten to where I could just barely get up every day and was not walking. Tried the walk app and it was like great plan, but was not working for me and stuff. It's just there was so much pain in my body. I felt like I needed to do something. It impacted my family life, my grandkids, emotionally and mentally, I think more so. And I remember going into my doctor's appointment in January and telling her, I guess this is just me. This is my age. This is what I'm going to be and stuff. And, she prescribed me my medicine, with my, you know, I was on insulin and a thousand milligrams of metformin twice a day. I had cholesterol problems. I have osteoporosis in my back and my neck. So all those things is, what I was saying. These are my burdens, and this is what I'm carrying and stuff. And I saw I saw Dr. Guru's, workshop on Facebook and stuff, and I'm like, well, I should listen to this. I needed to start looking at another path. I needed to find something to stop all the pain and everything too and stuff. And so I found Guerrera's Facebook post and decided, yeah, I'll do this and stuff. And so I listened after the first day, and even just there starting to step in, diet and changing and eliminating some of the food groups that are are not the choice of a diabetic or anyone else for that matter and stuff. And so just change my eating habits and stuff. And by February, I could see a difference. I could feel a difference in everything and stuff. And so um, I called the doctor and I stopped the insulin. I said I'm not taking this anymore. I mean, that was right after I saw the workshop, for the fact that it just made sense. It made absolutely sense. I'm insulin resistant, and that is why I had put on, my 30 pounds over the last year since, she had put me on insulin and stuff. She took me off one pill for one side effect and gave me another, let's get rid of this pill and let's take the insulin and stuff. And that's where the weight gain started and everything. And so once I got off the insulin and once I started doing my eating programs, from January to today, I've lost 25 pounds and stuff.
Wow.
My What was amazing, by April, my joints were feeling better. I was able to go up and down the stairs. I could carry, my groceries or my even my purse, my bags or whatever. I just, felt like a whole different person. And the support that I had, from my family was amazing. It wasn't pity, it was encouragement. That's great, and they ate what I ate, whatever was here at the house, then they began to eat the same too and stuff. So my insulin in January is 6.7, but even prior to that, it'd gone up to 7.7 a year
A1C.
ago. My A1C, yes, my A1C was 7.7 in 2024, and January it was 6.7. Just, I think a lot of that was the insulin. I don't know what it was, but they give me something new, it brings it down. And in July, I tested at 5.9. And so I'm
Wow.
working really hard. I just want to see that number go down even more and stuff. And a lot of that, um, like I say, when the inflammation left my body, I was able to walk, but I still had a problem. I still had a problem with my gut. My gut, I couldn't leave the house for any uncertain time for the fact that my metformin had a severe, impact on my ability to be places and stuff and timing and digestion. But yeah, the side effect is diarrhea. And I probably had that the whole time, uh, and it progressively got worse. Well, whenever in April, I went from the 2000 to, it was like 1,000 milligrams twice a day. And I went down to, 1,000 twice a day. And then in August, no, in July, I went down to 500 milligrams twice a day. The back pain went away, the gut problems went away. I was able to, I was normal. I felt like I was actually normal and gonna be okay. I was like, oh my God, it wasn't the diabetes, it was the medication that was, creating the problems, the health problems that I was having, and it wasn't even fixing the diabetes. It wasn't. And so I'm down to one pill, 500 milligrams a day. And I would like, if I could just stop taking it, I probably could stop taking it today. I'm pretty sure by next month I will not be on any medication at all as far as the metformin. So no insulin, no metformin, no cholesterol pills.
That's
It's just
amazing.
amazing.
That is
It's
amazing.
amazing. It is, and I try to preach it to people. I try not to preach it, but people say, "Oh, you look great," and I tell them, and it's really hard for them to understand. Oh, you're giving up so much. The flours, the cakes, the breads, the tortillas. The tortillas are huge and stuff, but there's supplements. there's other there's other types of grains that you can eat and stuff that are not grains, or the flour, um,
The
the
almond
tortilla.
tortillas.
There you go, the almond tortillas. Yes. I mean, if you need something, but I don't even need those anymore. I can eat fajitas without eating tortillas and stuff. And learned how, my meals, what to eat and stuff. Went out last week and someone went to, it was the Benihanas, where you do the rice and the meats and vegetables and stuff. And hadn't had rice in I don't know how long and stuff. And, I did eat, did eat the rice. And it was just a reminder. That's why I'm on this plan. And that's why I changed but I mean, my numbers were out of control. It's, the sensitivity of my body, just from all the changes, it was so recognizable about, no, that's why you choose not to eat, the grains and the wheats and the
Yeah.
rices and everything and stuff too. So anyway.
Nothing tastes better than feeling good.
Exactly. And I sleep all night. I don't have to get up 10 times during the night and everything. So the sleep patterns, that's huge, waking up refreshed. I I don't know, it's been so long. It's amazing to think that where I was in January thinking this is what I'm going to be, and now look at me. This is what I'm going to be going forward. I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to be non-diabetic 100% eventually, and very well in control of myself, not letting someone else or some medication control me and drive the direction. So
That's a huge difference. I'm glad you made that point because I think most diabetics feel like they're not in control and they when you don't feel in control, I mean everything just kind of in your world spirals out of control. So how does that feel now that you're in control and you know what to do?
I love it. I can make choices. I can schedule plans in advance. Used to, I was like, oh, I don't know if I can, by the end of the week, I don't know, or even two, it's like, oh, okay, I'm not going to eat anything, because I don't want to have a problem with my gut. Well, that still didn't work and stuff too. So, I mean, I can make choices, I can be around people. Um, it's just amazing. I'm so blessed and so lucky, to be where I'm at. I'm so thankful for the program and for you and for the guidance and Nicole, my coach, her, the Facebook group. Whenever I initially joined, I didn't sign that. I wasn't going to, I wasn't going to talk. I wasn't going to share my story for the fact that I was like, maybe there was a little doubt whether this was going to work or not and stuff. But slowly things were happening. Watching the Facebook, even searching out on the Facebook group, oh, what should I do for this or that? Or, I'm even commenting and praising people for their success. And hopefully someone else can get you know, some guidance or be inspired, or motivation from my story.
Absolutely. And what would you say to that person who may be on the fence, they may be skeptical, they may not never have heard that your diabetes can be reversed? What would you say to that person now that you're on this side of things?
I would say it absolutely can be reversed, and it's your choice, your fight against this disease to get where you need to be. You make the choices and learn to be different from everyone else that's not diabetic or doesn't comprehend. Your plate will look better. They'll be jealous. They'll wish they could, but yes, you need to do this for your life, for yourself, for your well-being and your happiness too.
That's right. And how have your friends and family noticed? What do they have to say? How's that? How has your changes impacted them?
It's kind of funny because I have, grandbabies. They're 1, 2, and 3. And, the older they get, the more they want the little sucker, the candy, or I take cupcakes and stuff. And so I take almond flour cupcakes. I don't take, if I'm going to give them, the treats
That's
in my
great.
house are different. The treats in my house are different. There's no cookies sitting on the counter. And if there are, they're Simple Meals. They're the almond flour brownies or banana nut. The last diet cookbook was the best and stuff and everything. It had some really good desserts and examples in there too. So kind of be interesting to see what Thanksgiving's going to look like here, because we'll definitely, like I say, it'll have a different view. And like I say, my husband is healthier. He wasn't on a journey. He's as healthy as could be, but he's lost like 20 pounds too. So whatever was here, we'll go out to eat, and I'm like, why aren't you eating the tortillas? Why aren't you, and he's like, oh, I'll save those for later. So actually, he's changed his eating habits too and stuff, and for the better. So he's, like I say, he recognized my son. I remember at first was like, oh, that's too bad. You can't have. I go, no, I have my desserts and stuff. And whenever I was going to give my grandson Chips Ahoy cookies, no, I want him to have this cookie. So he picked, the almond
Yeah,
flour cookie and stuff. So they know it's like we're going to start young, and our whole family, circle of family, is going to be
yeah,
on this journey together. And they'll never have to do the battle that I did because they won't
yeah.
get to that point. So,
Yeah,
but
you got to teach them young, and kids are open. You just, I think we've been so um, trained to think that, like when I was a kid, it was, the treat was a Chips Ahoy cookie, the treat was
mhm,
a candy, the treat was, and it doesn't have to be that way.
yeah,
And you're right, you're saving your grandkids from a world of suffering
yes.
that you went through. So I'm so thrilled for you, and congratulations to you and your family, and thank you for doing this. I know that this is going to impact and inspire someone. So thank you for your time, and I just wish you continued health. And I know that you will get off that last pill. It's
Well,
just got to let your body continue to heal, and there's no reason why it won't continue to heal. So congratulations,
thank you, Dr. Guerra.
of course.